Lord, my heart is not proud, my eyes are not haughty. That is the very first verse of Psalm 131. But every time I read this verse, I'm just reminded about how hypocritical I am. I can't honestly stand behind the statement saying to God that my heart is not proud and my eyes are not haughty. As Charles Spurgeon said about this psalm, it's one of the shortest psalms to read, but one of the longest to learn. Learning to not be proud or haughty is a lifelong lesson, with some successes, but with many failures. It is easy to spot an overly prideful person, one who simply emanates arrogance. They're condescending, egotistical, and overconfident. And I'm sure that we can all think of that person who demands our attention and expects us to listen to them. In her book on the Psalms of Ascent, Lauren Crow suggested a proud and haughty person is arrogant divine attributes to oneself. In other words, they see themselves as equal with God. A person with a proud heart elevates their own way of thinking over others, and a person with haughty eyes looks askance at others because they don't share the same opinion. In Proverbs 21 verse 4 it says, "Haughty eyes and a proud heart, the unplowed field of the wicked, produce sin." The proud and haughty are like an uncultivated field. The soil of their souls has not been properly cared for and prepared for planting. Their lives are full of rocks and thorns and weeds. And we know from Jesus' parable that this type of heart does not yield crop. The Word of God does not penetrate into their life, and any remission of pride and arrogance does not last long. A prideful heart is shallow, not allowing God to infiltrate the deep reaches of the soul, so any transformation is insignificant and unsubstantial. And haughty eyes are choked out by the worries of the world. They are unable to surrender control to God and return their gaze back upon themselves. I know we can all name that person who wears pride and arrogance like a badge of honor. But I want to admit to you that there's something far worse than the overtly proud person. And I know this because I am one of them. These are people who wear a false pretense of self-effacement. We're people who hide our proud heart and our haughty eyes under a veil of false humility. This is the worst kind of pride. These are the people that respect you to your face, but are secretly judging you in their heads. My wife has a way of calling me out of this behavior. She often says that I think I'm the smartest person in the room. And of course I do. I've been a Christian my whole life. I've been working in the church for over 15 years. I have a master's degree from one of the country's top seminaries. I am the smartest person in the room. I may quietly listen to you, and I may calmly let you have your way, but silently, I'm judging you the entire time. Every year, we take our youth on a denominational retreat where we gather with hundreds of other students from around the area. And every year, I critique the speaker, analyzing what they did wrong and how I would do it better. Because my eyes are proud, and my heart is haughty. Stephen Shoemaker suggests that when we confess our proud hearts and our haughty eyes, we are saying that I am no longer driven by ambitious desires, that I have survived the disillusions of my own limitations and the world's limitations, and I can rest in the security that worth in God's eyes lies not in how much I can achieve, but who I am, a beloved child of God. By reciting the first verse of Psalm 131, we are asking God to make that true in our lives, to transform who we are, to cultivate the soil of our souls, so that we can say our hearts are not proud and our eyes are not haughty. By surrendering ourselves to God, we are on our way to calm, quiet, hope, and trust.